My favorite thing in the world is the sounds of my dog's breathing. When my boyfriend comes over, he tells me that the dogs aren't allowed to sleep in the room because he hates the sound of their snore, but it actually kind of soothes me. Along with this, I've come to the realization that I obviously love dogs. And with loving dogs, I would assume that I love animals. But the more I thought about it, the more I came to another realization. Do I really love animals if I'm willing to eat them in my diet? This feature documentary is going to take you on a journey, my journey, of finally deciding to go from a cheeseburger lover to cutting out meat cold turkey and slowly trying to find my way into the process of becoming a vegan. The last piece of meat I ever had was probably this past summer, and I think it was about June. And I remember it very well because I was eating chicken wings. It was one of my favorite meals to ever eat. And then the next morning, my mom and I said, let's do it. Let's sit down and watch a documentary called What the Health. And I knew right then and there when the movie ended, I was never going to eat a piece of meat again. When I talk to my friends and family about why I chose to do this, they pretty much just laugh, they don't understand, and they really don't want to listen. That's why I chose to do this documentary on my transition to veganism. I want people to understand that you can get your protein from eating plants and nuts, and maybe understand what the animals go through. The first person I'm going to introduce to you is my boyfriend, Alexander. He will always support me through any decisions I have as long as they're positive, but when I told him I was going vegan, he took on a little bit of a different approach. Have you been a meat eater your entire life?
Yeah.
What was your opinion when you first found out that I wanted to go plant-based?
Thought it was stupid.
Why is that?
I don't know, I just don't understand people going vegan if they don't have to.
But from my understanding, it's going to help me with my health. We should go vegan.
I guess that's what you want to do. I wouldn't do it.
Do you think there's any chance of someone changing your mind to cut out meat out of your diet?
Doubt it.
Why do you think that is?
I think going vegan, you have to really want it. You can't really convince someone into it.
If I told you that going vegan could add 10 to 20 years on your lifetime, would you do it?
Probably not.
Why is that?
I don't know. I don't care that much. If I'm eating, I want to enjoy my meals. I know what I like. I don't really care about adding on 10 years if I eat more kale or something.
As you can tell, Xander exactly wasn't really interested in talking about my vegan lifestyle. So I thought now it would be interesting to bring in a vegan professional, a familiar voice we've all heard. She's been in my last documentary that I recently made. Her name is Deirdre Maloney, but I would also want to call her a vegan expert. I thought she was crucial to explain the health benefits of becoming a vegan. How long have you been a vegan for?
It's been 4 years.
Okay. Has it been the same for your husband?
Yeah, we went vegan together. We're both athletes, cyclists, and my husband was looking for a good way to manage his weight. Came across another kind of high-profile cyclist on YouTube that was eating a vegan diet and promoting it. And so he brought it to me and he's like, let's try this. I was like, what do you mean? We have to eat meat. Where are we going to get our protein from? And so I started watching some of the videos, seeing how these people ate. And they were super strong. They were doing all these crazy workouts. They were really lean. And they looked really healthy, lots of energy. So I decided to give it a try. So I told my husband, okay, I'll do it for 2 weeks. We'll do vegetables and whatever. I didn't know even what I was going to make at the time. And so we did it. And then after 2 days of eating that way, I was like, that's it. I don't need to eat meat ever again.
So when someone comes up to you and says, how do you give yourself and your children protein? What is your most common answer?
So the protein is, this was a big concern for me when I first switched. I thought that the main way to get protein was only through meat. But, now I'm realizing that almost everything has protein in it. Even potatoes, one potato has a gram of protein. So we eat a lot of lentils, peanut butter, seeds like chia seeds, flaxseed. Those are really high in protein. And then what's better about them compared to meat is that you've got your fiber and lots of vitamins that go with that.
I wanted to talk to Deirdre's 2 children. Maybe from a child's perspective, being a vegan is completely different, or maybe they're just doing it for all the right reasons as well. Have you ever had a cheeseburger from McDonald's?
No.
Have you ever had chicken nuggets?
No.
Do you ever want to?
No, not really. Because they're not vegan and they're made with animals.
No, I don't know about you, but I don't exactly know a lot of kids who are willing to give up a McDonald's cheeseburger in order to eat some peppers with their mom's homemade vegan dip. From learning all these health facts from Deirdre, I wanted to know if our local Tim Hortons was even serving alternative dairy products for people who are interested in choosing this lifestyle. And the answer I got wasn't exactly the answer I was looking for.
Good morning, from Bayfield.
Hi, I was just curious if your location serves soy milk.
Sorry?
Does your location serve soy milk for your coffee?
Soy milk? No, unfortunately we don't.
Okay, thank you. Personally, for me, I found this kind of devastating, especially talking to two young children who don't even want to put animal milk in their body, and they can't go down the street to grab a hot chocolate because they're not serving the alternatives for them. I've decided to save the best for last. I went to an animal sanctuary just outside of Barrie called Wishing Well. Animals are rescued from all over, especially from slaughterhouses. It's important for us to understand where these animals are coming from. As soon as we walked up to the front door, we were introduced by Brenda, the owner of the sanctuary, and a little puppy that came out to greet us, and we soon learned that that dog was actually dropped off in the middle of the night in the cold, left in a porta potty for them to find. That's how you know that people are leaving animals here hoping that they're in good hands.
Brenda Bronfman. I'm the founder at Wishing Well Sanctuary.
How long have you had the sanctuary for?
Well, I started the clock when the first truck arrived. First truck came in October of 2011, so just over 6 years ago, with 9 cows and 5 sheep on it.
How many animals do you think you have here right now?
71.
That's insane.
Beautiful beings, yes.
And what type of variety goes from like pigs to...
We have potbelly pigs, and then we have the really large pigs, which are the kind, unfortunately, that most, if you eat a pig product, it's those big ones. Mm-hmm. We have cows and steers. We have donkeys. We have sheep. We have a very cool llama. We have, did I say donkeys? Donkeys. We have goats. We have Peking ducks, 1 Indian runner, and 2 roosters. And we just adopted 3 new horses, so we now have 5 horses. I would say I have favorites.
Really? That's
but I wouldn't tell them.
Yes, obviously.
I mean, I care about all of them, of course. But like anything, I mean, they're all individual beings. And just like with people, there's some that speak to you for whatever reason more than other ones, right?
I remember when I came on one of your tours, you kind of went, I'm pretty sure you said one of your pigs had actually jumped off of a
truck.
Yeah, can you
We
talk
have
a
a
little
few.
bit about that?
Yeah, we actually have a few. Yoda was the first one. He didn't, I don't know if he jumped, but somehow he fell out of a truck, and he was spotted by someone. So there was a bit of a tag team effort until he could come to us. And poor little thing, I mean, he must have been, I don't know, maximum 2 feet long from tip of his nose to the tip of his tail, at most. He was likely going to what's called a finishing barn.
Okay.
So it's like, unfortunately, sometimes there's a couple of steps. So then a finishing barn is where they would fatten them up prior to them going to the slaughterhouse.
No.
I've been vegetarian for over 25 years.
Wow.
But really, to make the leap to veganism, I mean, it just made so much sense. But, at first I thought, I love cheese so much. That's hard because it's very easy to be vegetarian. But when you think about the life of a dairy cow, if you actually stop and think, not just what I like to eat, but think about the life of the cow. And people often say, well, they don't die when you take their milk. So what's the problem? First of all, if you've ever seen images of, all these cows standing side by side, but they can't turn around, right? And they're hooked up to machinery. It's disgusting. It's as if they're machines, but they're not. They're living, feeling beings, right? And they're mothers, obviously. So they've had babies, and then they're lactating. And over and over. So the males, their sons are taken away from them. They end up going into these little horrible veal crates for 4 months. They can't move around, so to keep their flesh pale. And then they're slaughtered at 4 months of age to be veal. The females that the mothers give birth to basically land up going into sort of slavery like the mothers. So as soon as they're old enough, they're forcibly impregnated. Then they have the baby. Babies are taken away. And the mothers are very bonded to their babies. So if you've ever, it is the most heartbreaking sound to hear the mother bellowing, crying for her baby as it's being taken away. What I've always shared with our volunteers, and I know we all feel the same way, is that it's really important not only that that they're well fed and that their stalls are clean and all of that is taken care of, but that their emotional needs are also taken care of. So it's really important that we spend time with them, not just clean around them, right? And then make it nice and comfy for them. We encourage people to spend time with them, and it's frankly, it goes both ways, because the animals love it, but it's also very healing and nurturing and nourishing for ourselves.
After listening to Brenda talk, I stand here on our farm staring at 2 of our rescue horses, and it's one of the first time I've actually looked into an animal's eyes, and I didn't just see a horse, I saw a soul. Now I'm going to wrap this up by saying just one last thing. Let's say you're 4 years old. You know absolutely nothing about what you need and what you don't need in your diet. But then all of a sudden, you're sitting in a room, you're hungry, and someone hands you a banana, and then they bring in a baby pig. What's the first thing you are going to eat? Thank you guys for listening. I'm Kendall Ketty for Say News Documentaries.